Grace Sterling stepped onto the marble floors of the Peninsula Resort in her simple beige dress, a stark contrast to the glittering chandeliers and opulent decor. She'd come straight from reviewing donations for her foundation to check on preparations for tonight's gala. "I'm here to check on the arrangements for tonight," she said to the receptionist, whose smile faltered upon taking in Grace's modest appearance. "Do you work for one of our guests?" the young woman asked. "No, I'm attending the charity gala this evening, the Sterling Foundation reservation." The receptionist's brow furrowed. "I don't see your name here." "I'm actually the founder," Grace replied calmly. "My husband, William, should have called ahead. He's arriving by yacht later." Bernard Phillips, the general manager, approached. "Is there a problem here?" After a whispered exchange, Bernard assessed Grace from head to toe. "Ma'am, this is a private resort. The Sterling Foundation Gala is a prestigious event. Perhaps there's been some confusion." "There's no confusion. I'm Grace Sterling, my husband and I." Bernard's laugh cut her off. "Mrs. Sterling is a prominent philanthropist married to William Sterling. She wouldn't be arriving unaccompanied and dressed like." His gesture indicated her simple attire. "I have ID," Grace began. "Please, anyone can print a fake ID these days." Two security guards materialized. Nearby guests began to stare. "Please don't make this difficult," Bernard continued. "We can't have just anyone walking and claiming to be important guests." Grace noticed a woman recording the scene on her phone. "Perfect. I understand," Grace said steadily. "May I at least use your restroom before I leave?" Inside the bathroom, Grace typed a message to William's executive assistant. "Code Cinderella at Peninsula Resort. 2 hours." The response came seconds later. "Understood. Initiating protocol." Grace smiled. She and William had developed this system after the third time she'd been dismissed because of her unassuming appearance. Rather than fight these battles with her name or wealth, Grace preferred to let these situations play out. The lessons learned tended to stick better that way. The security guards escorted her through the grand lobby. Bernard called after her. "Perhaps next time you'll make a reservation under your own name. We only host the Sterling Gala because Mr. Sterling is a valued patron. His wife is known for her exquisite taste, something clearly not everyone possesses." Several guests laughed. Grace kept her head high. "I'll be sure to pass along your hospitality to my husband," she said softly. "Yes, I'm sure he'll be quite impressed with your imagination," Bernard chuckled, "though I doubt he exists, much like your supposed connection to the Sterlings." Grace walked to a quiet cafe with a view of the harbor. The perfect vantage point. Exactly 19 minutes later, an elegant black car arrived with her designer ensemble. She transformed in the cafe's restroom, then called Carter Jackson, the resort's owner. "I need a small favor regarding tonight's gala." Grace explained the situation, emphasizing she didn't want Bernard fired, just taught a lesson. "Are you sure?" "I could have him packing his bags within the hour," Carter chuckled. "No, William and I have something more educational in mind." Back at the resort, Bernard received a concerning call from Carter. "William Sterling's yacht will be docking within the hour. He's not happy. Something about a misunderstanding with his wife." Bernard's blood drained. The woman he'd escorted out. Could she have been telling the truth? "Have you ever actually met Grace Sterling in person?" Carter asked. Bernard felt cold sweat on his brow as the pieces fell into place. The Odyssey made its approach with unmistakable grandeur. At 300 feet, the custom-built yacht dwarfed everything in the marina. Bernard stood at the dock with a hastily assembled welcoming party. William Sterling appeared, tall and distinguished in an impeccably tailored navy suit. He walked past Bernard's extended hand without acknowledgement. "Mr. Sterling," Bernard tried again. "About earlier today, there seems to have been a misunderstanding." William stopped abruptly. "A misunderstanding? Is that what you call humiliating my wife and having her escorted from the property?" He turned and gestured toward the yacht. Grace appeared at the top of the gangway, transformed into a vision of elegance. As she descended, the crowd parted. Those who had witnessed her expulsion hours earlier now stared in disbelief. "Mrs. Sterling," Bernard stammered. "I cannot begin to express." Grace raised a hand. "Mr. Phillips, I believe we have a gala to prepare for. Shall we continue our discussion inside?" In the VIP lounge, Grace spoke calmly. "I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My father was a mechanic, my mother a waitress. I founded the Sterling Foundation with just $5,000 of my savings. Now we raise millions annually for educational opportunities for underprivileged children. Children who, like me, might be judged by their appearance rather than their character. Bernard lowered his eyes. I don't want you fired, Mr. Phillips, Grace continued. Instead, you'll commit to 1 year working with students from disadvantaged backgrounds in our mentorship program. And tonight's gala will include a scholarship fund for hospitality management students. The peninsula will fund the first year. Bernard nodded quickly. Of course, Mrs. Sterling. Anything. As Bernard left, William took his wife's hand. Masterfully handled. Grace smiled. About not judging a book by its cover? About humanity, Grace replied, which is ultimately worth more than any yacht.